because of the salary cap that we have in this sport, there are what they call cap casualties. Players who will be cut, and usually they're cut, shortly, a lot of times they're announced, but they call it like June releases or whatever.
Right, June 1st.
Yes, because of cap ramifications. I don't understand all the machinations of that, but
well, it basically cuts it in half. Just to give you the Cliff Notes version of it.
do.
It's a June 1st designation, so you can cut now. That way, whoever it is, and let's just use Aaron Rodgers. They've talked about him. He'll probably be a June 1st designation. So he can be a guy that can get into free agency and sign another contract. But it does, instead of taking a $50 million cap hit this year, they basically could take 25 this year and push 25 of it down to next year,
right,
and split up the difference.
All right. So I want to give you some guys who are going to be cap
casualty could be,
casualties.
yes.
Ooh, cap. Some obviously will have no. I don't think the Lions would be interested in, but you never know. Here we go. Kirk Cousins.
No.
Yeah, they don't need him. Another quarterback, Derek Carr.
No, and both of these guys on Monday we did the quarterback carousel, and I think they'll be in the market, and it'll be interesting to see if anybody wants to. Ideally, for both of these teams, they would trade them instead of cut them, and it might be a possibility for Carr. His contract's not quite what Kirk Cousins is. I think Kirk Cousins is going to have to be one where they just cut him, and he'll be a June 1st, and they'll just have to bite the bullet on that one.
The next guy I'm going to mention, he would fit in with the quote-unquote culture and grit and all that kind of stuff. I just don't see them needing him per se, and that would be Kyle Juszczyk, the fullback for San Francisco.
Oh, he would be, yeah, I mean, he would definitely fit. He's a tremendous player, and I'd be surprised if he doesn't rework his deal or they don't rework his deal. He's such a big part of that offense in San Francisco. I would be surprised if he ends up becoming available, but I mean, yeah, culture fit, but I don't necessarily know that that's an expenditure that they need.
All right, I'm going to give you some receivers here.
Okay.
Devontae Adams.
No, too much drama.
Tyler Lockett. He's 32 years old.
So this would be one that I would kick the tires on, because who do they got now? They've got Jackson Smith and Jigba, and obviously
DK Metcalf.
Yeah, DK Metcalf. So he's that third receiver.
He's the $31 million of a cap hit for this year.
Right, for the Seattle Seahawks. But if he's cut, whoever signs him is not going to take on any part of that.
Right, I know. But so he's set to be the fourth largest cap hit of any receiver. And he's their number 3, probably.
Number 3. And I think he would be a great number 3. It just depends on what you would have to pay him to be that Josh Reynolds type of receiver.
Right. You're assuming that Tim Patrick probably won't be back, right?
I doubt it, but so they're gonna be looking for number 3.
What about Cooper Kupp?
Again, they wanted to trade him.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're going to find a trade partner. So if they cut him, would I rather have Kupp over Lockett? Yes. But he's also going to cost more than Lockett.
Christian Kirk for the Jaguars.
No.
I mean, he got a ridiculous deal to begin with.
Yeah, was it $72 million?
Yeah, over 4 years.
Yeah.
It's
just he's been hurt, hasn't been productive.
Yes. Tight end, the Lions don't need. Everything will probably cut. All right, here's an interesting one. Jack Conklin, off the tackle, Cleveland. Now, obviously, with Sewell and Decker, you probably don't need a tackle.
No, but you do need depth at that position. I don't know. How old is Jack Conklin right now?
Doesn't say here.
But so it would all depend on where he is in his career. Could he be a swing tackle that could back up both?
He's 30 years old.
So he is approaching that point of his career where he might be a nice piece to add depending on how much he would cost as a tackle that could back. Because, I mean, Decker didn't make it through the entire year last year. And we've had really nice health with Penei Sewell. At some point, he's going to get dinged up as well.
Do you think the Lions should go after any defensive tackles? Now, McNeil probably won't start the season. You got Reeder. Who's
There's
kind of
only
been-
one that I would like them to explore if he's cut, and I don't know if he's on this list.
Okay.
Obviously, being tapped into Washington, I've heard that Jonathan Allen
He's on the
might
list.
be okay. So if he was
my next one.
If he's cut and he enters free agency, I know his productivity last year was a little bit down, and that's one of the things we talked about. Both of those defensive tackles.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that they weren't great stopping the run, I think alongside Lee McNeil with DJ Reader, Hutch, I think it would be a great addition.
I'm not that familiar with this guy's work. David Onyemata of the Atlanta Falcons. It says here dropping Grady Jarrett. Also a possibility for a Falcon organization that's currently almost $12 million overdrawn, as his departure would free up $16 million. He's a run-stuffing nose tackle. That would be a luxury to have a third.
Yeah.
And you're kind of hoping, praying that what's-his-face, Broderick Martin, develops into something.
Well, keep praying.
Yeah, I know.
I know you're a praying man.
Sorry, man of faith. Oh, Lord, please make Broderick Martin a good player, please.
So this one kind of goes along the lines of, would you rather have him or Jonathan Allen if they're both available? Would you rather have Lockett or Kupp if both are available? Jonathan Allen's going to cost more.
Mm-hmm.
Kupp is going to cost more. But would I rather have Cooper Kupp as a number 3 receiver? Absolutely.
Edge rusher. There's two here with very familiar names. One is even older than the other. One is former Ohio State Buckeye Joseph Bosa.
No, because he's just
Availability.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as he walks out of the locker room, I don't know if he slips and falls or trips, whatever it is, he's just always hurt.
Mm-hmm. I would hope they would cut Khalil Mack, and the Lions would do that.
I think Khalil might be available,
traded, yeah. And the other one is Von Miller.
Too old, too banged up.
Situational pass rusher. All
no, I just don't. I wouldn't trust that he'd be available when you need him most.
Do we need a corner?
Yes.
Okay. There's one who's really, really good, but he showed a lot of drama last year. But he might be motivated if he gets cut, especially because it's in the division to sign with somebody like the Lions. Jair Alexander.
I would explore it. I think he's going to cost more than the Lions really want to pay. Given the option, all things being equal, would I rather have Jair Alexander or Carlton Davis? I'll take Jair Alexander.
Yes. Although he was injured a lot of this year too.
He was.
Yeah. How about Jamal Dean of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? You're talking corners.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna explore the Tampa Bay corner market, we did with Carlton Davis. Why not Jamal Dean?
Yeah, he's a pretty good player.
He's a good player, solid player.
Yes. His cap hit is $15.1 million, so they'd be willing to maybe cut him. And the other one on this list is somebody I talked about before, and that's Darius Slay.
Yeah, and this would really come down to how long does he want? What's he looking to get out of the last few years of his career?
He definitely wants to play one more year. I don't know if he wants to play more than that.
Well, so he hasn't been cut yet. He's got 1 year left on his deal with Philly. Mm-hmm. And if he is, then yeah, I would definitely find out. And I'd be willing to go 2 years with him. And those conversations behind closed doors, because if he retires in the middle of the contract, and we've kind of gone down this road different times in the Lions' history.
Right.
The cap hit's not quite as much as if you cut him. So you could explore different ways to be creative with a contract for Darius Slay.
Yes. Who do you think the Lions are going to just start cutting?
Who are they going to axe?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of guys that were on prove-it deals. That's the kind of the Brad Holmes specialty.
Right, but they were 1 year deals usually, right? So they're not under contract.
They're not under contract to be cut. So I guess I'd have to look at
what about Glasgow?
It all depends on who's available in free agency. Who can they get at that guard spot? Do they want to pay more than they're paying him? Will they get more? for what they're paying
And they
for.
might have to get a guard to replace Zeitler, possibly, too.
Right, because Zeitler's a free agent.
Yes.
So, again, it depends on how many guys they want to add to that, or are they good with going with Christian Mahogany at one and Glasgow at the other, but then getting a swing guard as a backup.